Melissa, a high school student interested in cultural performances. Initially, Melissa is portrayed as someone closely connected to her surroundings. She even shares her savory pancakes with her friends. Her early life is filled with family warmth as she lives with her mother and grandmother.
Per favore, puoi andare tu, che io sono in ritardo, devo ancora finire di prepararmi.
One morning, worried that Melissa might be late for school, her mother gently wakes her up.
Amore, la sveglia!
Esci fuori!
Scusa, amore mio, è che farei tardi a scuola.
Melissa and her friends then visit the home of a male friend where several men are seen swimming. One of them, Arnaldo, approaches Melissa and invites her to join them. Intending to get his attention, Melissa removes her clothes and walks toward the pool. She pretends not to know how to swim, hoping Arnaldo will help her. Arnaldo quickly comes to her aid. After getting out of the pool, the two of them go to the garden where they enjoy a beautiful view of the sea. Arnaldo promises to teach her how to swim someday. During their conversation, Melissa seems shy around Arnaldo. He asks her age and she replies that she is 15. The romantic atmosphere brings Arnaldo and Melissa closer together. He realizes that she has feelings for him and asks what she wants from him. However, after Arnaldo leaves, Melissa returns home and she never sees him again. That summer turned out to be the worst for Melissa. At school, Melissa and her friend entered the classroom. While the teacher was taking attendance, a new boy arrived. Since there were no seats left, he had to sit in the empty front row. At home, after taking a bath, Melissa was helped by her grandmother to comb her hair. Suddenly, her mother called to her from outside the bathroom. It turned out that her father was calling from a very distant place. Back at school, during a physical education session, the students were exercising. Melissa was climbing a wooden pole. Without realizing it, she experienced a sudden, unfamiliar sensation that left her feeling confused and embarrassed. Some of her classmates noticed and began whispering. When she climbed down, a few friends teased a boy, claiming he had reacted visibly after watching her. After school, a friend invited Melissa to a bar. There, she saw Arnaldo. She hoped he would greet her, and luckily he did. He immediately invited her to his house. He began by touching her cheek and making flirtatious remarks. When they arrived at his empty house, he started undressing her and asked if she was still a virgin. Melissa replied that she was still original and had never been touched by anyone. Arnaldo then proceeded, and eventually they were intimate. Afterward, Arnaldo left immediately. It turned out he was indeed a hunter of virgin girls. Feeling hurt by the man she had hoped for, Melissa was distressed and confided in her father via email. Later, Melissa, her mother, and her grandmother went to a nursing home. With a heavy heart, Melissa left her beloved grandmother there. She was angry at her mother for making that decision. However, her mother explained that she was worried about the grandmother's health. She kept smoking, and her mother hoped that life at the nursing home would be healthier and more structured. At school, the teacher asked about Melissa's homework. The new boy kept staring at her as if he liked her. After school, Melissa and her friend went to a cafe. Melissa's friend noticed an older man who kept staring at her. With her usual boldness, Melissa decided to return the man's gaze. The older man immediately approached her, and she teased him further with her playful words. When Christmas arrived, Melissa's grandmother returned home to spend time with the family. She noticed something different about her granddaughter. Gently, she took Melissa to the room where she kept her diary. Melissa opened the book and saw photos of her grandmother when she was young. As her grandmother combed her hair, she recounted her experiences, acting very warm and gentle. Afterward, Melissa received a text message from Arnaldo asking her to meet up. He was ready to have fun with her. Melissa, who couldn't resist such activities, couldn't say no. Once they started, Arnaldo stepped back and was suddenly replaced by his friend. This made Melissa even happier because now she could have fun with Arnaldo's friend. After that, Melissa was seen listening to music at school. A new guy approached her, trying to get closer, but before they could talk, her phone rang. It was Arnaldo's friend who had spent time with her the day before. He invited her to the basement. This time, she had fun with many men. She didn't mind, she was just happy. However, after that wild night, it was revealed that she was actually lonely and depressed. Her father was far away, her mother was indifferent, and her grandmother was in a nursing home. Shortly after, Melissa's mother returned home. She called out to Melissa, but her daughter didn't respond. Melissa's mother found her diary and began reading it. Meanwhile, Melissa was at a hotel preparing to have fun with those uncles. Her mother was frantically searching for her. At the same time, her grandmother fell ill. Her mother decided to visit the grandmother before continuing the search for Melissa. Melissa waited in her hotel room for the uncle to arrive wearing a new outfit. Unfortunately, he turned out to be rude and she couldn't handle it. She ran out of the hotel. When she returned home, her mother told her that her grandmother was still unconscious. Melissa was exhausted and had little energy to answer her mother's questions. She lay on the bed completely drained. Her mother gently removed her shoes and covered her with a blanket. Then she asked if the entries in Melissa's diary were true. Melissa didn't respond. For the first time, her mother was truly interested in her life. Melissa confessed that she wanted to change her life because it had gone off track and she felt completely lost. However, after hearing that Melissa had been with many men, her mother threw the diary across the room and then hugged her. After that incident, Melissa's life began to improve. She now understood that she could choose her own path. She went to school and started socializing with her friends again. A new boy approached her and showed her a book with Melissa's face on it. Melissa was surprised and amazed to see the picture, and the two grew closer from there. One night, Melissa and her friend went to a party. While her friend danced with someone else, Melissa walked away from the party toward the cliff. Everyone was shocked when she jumped off, but it was just her mischievous nature. She swam back to shore. Time passed, and Melissa's grandmother eventually passed away. Melissa and her mother visited her grave together. That winter, as snow blanketed the streets and soft music played from the radio, Melissa sat by the window holding her grandmother's diary in her hands. She finally understood the strength of the women who came before her, their mistakes, their pain, and their quiet resilience. In the distance, she could hear laughter, her mother in the kitchen humming a tune from her youth. They weren't perfect, but they were still a family. Melissa turned the page of the diary and smiled. For the first time, she wasn't searching for someone to validate her worth. She had faced betrayal, loneliness, and shame, but now she was choosing herself. The camera slowly pulled away from the window, snow falling gently outside. A quiet voiceover from Melissa closed the scene. "I used to think love was something you had to chase, but now I know it begins here, in healing, in truth, in the quiet promise I make to myself every morning to never disappear again." If you want to find out more, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.